Hey guys, Jeremy Smith here, Citadel Development Services, and we're here in Austin, Texas at The Pitch. Now, a lot of you might have seen this project. This is one of our kind of biggest projects that we've done to date. One of the ones that we're the most proud of, and it's a really cool project. And so I'm gonna walk you around, show you some of the elements and talk about it. Now, this was one of the first projects that we had a real true collaboration with the design team at all levels. We collaborated with Odom Studio for this project, and we were brought on real early in the design phase to start thinking about the constructability of the project, right? We were able to bring a lot of our trades in during the design and CD phase to really have some input on the best ways to execute the project. So as we walk around, I'm gonna show you some of the elements here, but what you see here and what we're gonna show you is the culmination of a lot of time and effort and collaboration with a lot of talented people, right? So this project here is part of a bigger development that was a collaboration with Carlin Development and Austin FC, the soccer club here in Austin. And so there's a lot of different amenities, a lot of different features of this that came together with the project that we executed here to make just a great development. I mean, it's a one-of-a-kind development here in Austin, probably a one-of-a-kind for the state of Texas as well. So come check it out, guys. So The Pitch, again, was a collaborative project with Carlin Development and Austin FC to provide an activation here at Austin FC's training field and some of their corporate offices. The idea was to have a place where people could come, enjoy the games, enjoy a lot of different events with a food and a drink element. So as we walk around, you're gonna see some of the containers have restaurants in them. Some of them have just kind of dine-in spaces, and there's also some flex space for meetings. You know, we started this project at the beginning of the year, and we were on a pretty aggressive time frame to get this completed for some activation events with Austin FC. And so, you know, one of the big coordination points that we had to map out was with the container fabricator. As they were building the containers off site and doing some of the initial structural fabrication, you know, all the site work was underway. And there was a lot of key coordination, again, with all the structural elements, foundations, piers, so that when the containers got on site, everything would marry up correctly. And so there was multiple meetings with the container fabricator, with our structural fabricator, Makehaus out of Dallas, and then also with a lot of the MEP trades. One of the other big things that we learned on a project like this is that running your MEP, your mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, is not as easy as a conventional build. There's a lot of space constraints. How are you gonna run vent stacks? How are you gonna bring electrical through the different containers to, you know, connect them electrically? HVAC, ventilation, right? All that requires space. And so when you're working inside some of these tight containers, you know, every square inch is critical. Because as you can see, and we're gonna show you, a lot of these are restaurant spaces. So they've got equipment. They've got different requirements for functionality and space. And so, you know, you gotta be really intentional with how you run all that. So from the very beginning, again, one of the key elements is we brought them to the table during design to say, okay, we've got this container configuration, right? We're gonna have 2 containers on the ground. We're gonna have 2 that are gonna bridge over each other. We've got electrical, we've got circuits, we've got data, we've got ventilation and all that. How do we propose running all that, right? So we were figuring that out in the design phase, so that when we got out in the field and started putting the containers together, we had a pretty good idea of how we were gonna execute that and how all that was gonna be installed. The collaboration with the city of Austin, right? They were very, very excited about this project because, again, it's a one-of-a-kind. There's nothing like it right now in Austin or in the state of Texas for that matter. And so the planners and the individual inspectors were very, very excited and eager to help out. So again, we ran into a few elements where, you know, the way we ran electrical or the way we ran ventilation, you know, maybe didn't check the box in the same way that a conventional build was. So the inspectors actually were here helping us decide and make decisions on how we were going to do certain things so that, you know, we would meet code, obviously, and it would function properly. I really want to kind of focus in on the element of collaboration with this project. Again, we were working under an aggressive schedule, and we had a lot of different people from the container fabricator, Falcon, and our structural fabricator, Makehaus, that were in 2 different cities, right? We needed the containers to show up at a certain time. We needed all the structural elements and all the railings and the trellises and all the other steel that you see on this project. We needed it to show up at the same time, at the right time, and fit together correctly. Again, with our aggressive schedule, we didn't have a lot of time to site build a lot of things. So most everything you see out here was built in components, shipped to the site, and then put together and connected up, right? So there wasn't very much custom fabrication on this project. As you can see behind me, we've got one pod that consists of 7 containers. And this on the bottom level consists of 2 different restaurants. And in the top section is a flex space that could be rented out for meetings, events, or just used as dining for bigger occasions here. Anytime you start cutting holes in containers, especially for glass and openings like you see behind us here, that really affects the integrity of the container, right? They start to get really flimsy, you know. And so it takes a real intentional way of putting structural steel inside of those. Because as you can see, these things have a lot of articulation to them. We're bridging them. So it takes a lot of structure to be able to, allow you to execute that kind of design. So I've been asked a lot, hey, what are some of the challenges with a project like this? And there were a lot of challenges. Mainly stemming from the fact that we were doing something that really hasn't been done before, using containers for this kind of a multi-use scenario. Now, people have used containers before. They're really hot right now. You're seeing a lot more uses with containers in the food and beverage space. But when we were doing this project, there was a lot of new things going on, and we were trying a lot of new things with, again, how the containers were set up and how they articulated. And so, again, one of the biggest challenges was getting everybody together and talking through how are we going to do this, making a lot of decisions on the front side. And I think really the success was from having people that were bought into the project at all levels, right? I mean, from the ownership, the architect group, all the engineers, the trades, and the city, having everybody bought in and really excited about the project led to this being executed really successfully. So guys, listen, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope you've had the opportunity to come and check it out here on site at the pitch and experience one of the events, watch one of the games. We feel real fortunate to be part of this project. Huge shout out, huge thanks to Mark Odom Studio for bringing us in. Huge shout out and huge thanks to everybody that was involved in the project, from the engineers, the civil engineers, all the trades, which again, we're gonna shout out in this video in the description. But listen, this was one of the coolest projects, one of the most challenging projects, something that we feel is gonna stand the test of time, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.